getting more sales. What I'm going to talk about really has a lot to do with new business, bringing in new clients, prospecting, how you can go out and find local clients and get new orders and build new clients out. So I'm not going to talk a lot about maintaining relationships, but building new ones. And we can talk about that later as well. If anybody has any feedback, feel free, go ahead and comment in the section below. We're going to do some Q&A after I roll through some of these strategies so that everybody can respond with some questions. I've been in sales since I was 15 years old. I'm 32 now, so I've learned a lot about sales over the years. I have a lot of experience in it. I've had sales jobs in numerous different industries and studied sales for a long time, went to school for business, which they don't really teach you sales in business school, interestingly enough. It's normally something that you learn through experience and that you learn through professional training as far as sales strategies and what works. And so what I'm going to share with you today is some really effective selling strategies. So we're going to go ahead and get started pretty soon here. We've got about 2 minutes before I start going through the process. Basically, we're going to cover 5 main points. We're going to be looking at 5 steps. Here, I'm going to keep it really simple. I'll cover a few basic things just to get started about selling and about sales. But we're going to talk about 5 steps for commercial embroiderers to get new orders and get new business right away. Actually, in a pretty short period of time. It depends on how much work you do around these things, around these 5 steps. And basically the one thing that you want to understand about selling, especially like if you're trying to get new business in or new business in your pipeline, is that any result you want to achieve, it just takes energy multiplied by time. If you multiply energy by time, you're going to get the results you're looking for. Okay, so we're just getting ready to get started for those of you that are jumping on. It looks like, Carol, you've had a baby lock and brother machines for 23 years. That's the thing I've been seeing a lot in the forum. I'm excited about that. A lot of people have been embroidering for a very long time. Some people have had their business for a long time. There's a lot of people just getting started. I've actually put a link in the comment section to a free resource on how to price embroidery. It's totally free. You can download it. It's an ebook that I normally give to my customers when they're starting their business to go ahead and help them out with starting their business. So it's got templates for estimation forms, different things you want to price out. That's a whole other conversation for another thing, for another training. So we're going to go ahead and talk about now getting more orders. So 5 steps, so 5 things that we want to talk about. The first thing that we want to talk about when you're going to go to get more business in the door, the first thing you want to do right away is something called the Dream 100. Okay, this is a strategy that's actually been around for a long time in the world of sales. Dream 100 has to do with picking out your dream clients or the people in your local area that are dream clients that you really would like to work with. And you want to pick out 100 of them. Okay, so the first thing is Dream 100. So for Dream 100, for embroidery clients, especially if you want good clients that are local, that are going to give you repeat business. They're going to make orders from you over and over again over time. So your Dream 100 in a local area, there's a lot of low-hanging fruit for commercial embroidery. In my experience in working with commercial embroiderers, a lot of the low-hanging fruit is going to be in service. Okay, so service-oriented business, mechanic shops, maid services, anything that's like a technical professional, plumbers. Construction is a whole thing. Construction is a whole group of people that you can put on your Dream 100 list. So the first thing you want to do is start your Dream 100 list. And you want to get into this mindset, okay? Who's going to give you repeat orders over a long period of time? Service-oriented businesses that have to train employees or technical people, and then they go somewhere else or they have to get rid of them or whatever, they're going to have uniforms. They're going to have things they're going to embroider on. They're going to have like polos, aprons, hats, especially hats. These are great clients to start out with because they're going to need your services over a period of time. So that's a great place to start on your Dream 100 list, is service-oriented businesses. Maid services are great. And as you're looking at these different organizations, you want to ask yourself, did they have the kind of employees or do they have the kind of groups and technical people where they're going to give me orders over time. If it's like a one-man shop kind of deal, they might need some embroidery, but they're probably not going to need a lot of embroidery. Another thing to think about on your Dream 100 list, and this might not be for those of you that already have your embroidery business kind of up and running. You've already probably done this, but for those of you that are just getting started, is you want to look for friends and family. Okay, so this is called your power base. You want to look to your power base to get orders. All right, I'm going to switch colors because that's not working so well. So your power base is going to be friends and family. All right, they care about you. They probably think it's great that you started a business, and they want to see you be successful. So power base, friends and family. Okay, F and F. This is a great place to start and people to put on your Dream 100 list. If you're having trouble thinking of local places, organizations, we're going to talk more about that here. But if you've got parents, grandparents, kids, grandkids, any of those people, you're going to want to go ahead and reach out to them right away, or make it very public that you've started your own business and you're looking for people that need embellishments. Are they throwing parties? Do they own their own businesses? Are they a decision maker in a business that they work in? You want to ask these questions and lay these questions out. Okay, lay them out before you're going to contact these people, but right now we're just focusing on the list. We're just focusing on our Dream 100 list, right? We want 100 people that we think would be great to work with in our local community as an embroiderer. If this is the mode of selling that you do is with local clients, Dream 100. Okay, so power base, friends and family. Businesses. You're looking for local businesses. And again, the low-hanging fruit, the ones that are probably going to take orders from you right away, are going to be service-oriented businesses. With business customers, you don't want to just focus on the embroidery. That's part of the presentation for sure, and we're going to talk about that too, how you're going to get the order when you meet with these people, because you need to have a good presentation, right? And so we'll talk about that. But basically, your local business customers, they're focused on branding. Okay, so as an embroiderer, as somebody that's providing the services, when you go to see these people or you're going to contact them, you want to think who cares about their branding a lot. Like who really wants their brand in front of the customer when they're providing them service, so that customer remembers it, especially if they do a good job. When you're looking for this 100 list and you're searching Google, you're looking at local businesses, like one thing you could do right away is search maid service and then the city or town that you live in. Maid service, city or town that you live in, and then see the list that comes up. Look at the Google ratings for those people. Is it a 1-star rating? Is it a 3-star rating? Do they predominantly have 5-star ratings that are actually recent as well? Those are great service businesses that they know about their brand, they care about their brand because they're caring about their customers. That's why they have good ratings, okay? So businesses that are local, and we want this to be right away where we're looking at service oriented. Okay, I'm just going to write this out real quick so you can kind of see it. But service-oriented businesses are going to go ahead and probably need some of that stuff right away. Or they kind of maybe have some uniforms, or they have people that work for them that are dressing like business casual, and they want embellishments with their logo on it immediately. So these are quick clients that you can put into your pipeline as far as service-oriented businesses. Another good business customer to hit on is going to be people that resell your blanks that are embellished as part of their custom inventory. These are great people to put on your Dream 100 list that you're going to use these strategies for. And I'm going to talk to you about digital warming next, how to make your list and then warm them up so that it makes it a lot easier, makes the selling process a lot more organic. So you're not that guy. You're not the guy that's just like, driving sales and like trying to hard close people and stuff. You don't have to do that. And I'm going to show you how you can warm them up digitally, actually, and then bring them a free gift and talk to them and get to know them. So like gift shops, these are going to be really good too. These are going to be usually retail-oriented businesses that resell specialty things. So we're looking for retail business clients. So retail business clients are going to they're going to order more stuff from you a lot. I'll give you an example. So I have a cousin that lives locally near my office, and her husband run a gift shop near a lake. Okay, they have a clubhouse there. People rent out spaces for their boats, and they come into the gift shop and they buy specialty gifts. The thing that makes it custom is the gifts that they're selling have to do with the lake, right? So she needed hats. She needed hats that had the name of the lake on it. And so that people could buy it because they're on vacation, they're having a good time, and they want some memorabilia, right? So if you want a customer that's going to reorder from you on a regular basis because they need your custom embroidery for resale, what you should put on your Dream 100 list also, first, like service customers, easy, low-hanging fruit, they're going to order stuff from you. Predominantly, the way you're going to approach them as we go through this. Retail businesses are next. It's kind of different with them because they're buying this as inventory to resell at a profit. So they need to be able to buy at a certain price so that they can resell at a profit, but you're going to get lots of continuing orders on that. So you want to think specialty. Gift shops, any kind of specialty store that has like merchandise that's embellished, like clothing that's embellished. So any sort of store that's like kind of selling that stuff, like music shops, like if you go to a music store and they have apparel and they sell apparel in there, they could be a client, right? And it's just about like what do they want on that, and that's going to happen in the qualifying phase that I'm going to talk about here, where you actually go through a questionnaire. You're going to go through a questionnaire with these people when you talk to them, and you're going to build an order out of that questionnaire, right? You're going to pre-qualify them to build your order and then ask for the money. So we're looking for service-oriented business and then retail businesses. So the next set of people that we're looking at for the Dream 100 list, this is the first step, is making our list. We're going to be looking for organizations. Okay, these aren't necessarily businesses, but we want organizations. And some of you know about this. Some of you have seen this. Organizations are going to be like Girl Scout troops. You're going to be looking for like the Elks Club, Toastmasters, clubs, like memberships. Think membership, organizations. Gyms sometimes, like gyms are a good place where they want custom embellishments on their stuff. They're selling apparel to their clients as well. Their staff has to have a certain look about them, like maybe in that gym their trainers don't have a standard apparel that they wear. That's low-hanging fruit. That's really good. So organizations are going to be really good. Charity groups as well that maybe have a lot of volunteers, animal shelters, wildlife foundations, things like that. We're really going to try and think about this like local organizations. The big ones, government. If you're going to go after government, it can be difficult sometimes because of gatekeepers and because of administrative policy. That's going to go ahead and maybe stifle some of your efforts. But for those of you that know about this and have government clients, it's usually a great client to have. So those are great organizations to go after, is your local city government, your county government, things like that. Another thing would be like hospitals. Hospitals that might need custom embellishments. And you want to be in the mindset that basically, you want to put these really awesome on your list, and then you want to go ahead and pursue them. Because what will happen is if you nail down even just one of these really good clients, you're golden. Like you just got a really good customer, so you want to put it on the list so you can go ahead and pursue it. So it's really important, right? So you've got your organizations. We're looking at like hospitals. You're looking at government. And then, you're looking at these things. Hey, it looks like Karen just came on the live feed too. Hey, Karen. So basically, these are really important to look at.
Do you want to just read these? Or?
Yeah, that'd be great. So basically, organizations like a hospital, government, Girl Scout troops are really good. Boy Scout troops are really good. So that's always good. Boy Scouts, Girl Scouts. The main thing is you want to build this list out, and then you want to go ahead and know that you got 100 of these, okay? So that's going to be the first step of the 5 steps is Dream 100, right? So this is step number 1. To get more, you're going to get more orders and more sales this way, is to sit down. This might be like a 3-hour, 4-hour process, It might be like something you take a morning or an afternoon to do, but basically you're looking at tapping your power base, businesses that are local and organizations that are local, okay? Now we're going to go to the next step. So the next step is going to be digital warming, okay? Digital warming means you're going to warm up your Dream 100 list. You're going to warm them up. In sales, going in cold means that you're going in without knowing somebody at all, with no relationship. We all know what that is because we've all experienced it with spam, door-to-door salesmen, stuff like that. And that's a really hard way to sell, actually. Hey, Karen. She just said, hey. That's a really difficult way to sell, is cold selling. I don't know if any of you have experienced that or have done it before, but like knocking on doors, cold calling, it's all a part of sales, and it's definitely tactics and strategies that you do in sales. But just doing it right off the bat without warming somebody up somehow, it can be very difficult. It produces results, and I'm not saying that it doesn't work, but warming up your customer base first, or your prospecting list, this Dream 100 list, warming that up first is going to make it so much easier for you. If some of you have been to networking events where you go to a networking event, there's all these people, you get to meet people, shake their hand, get to know them before you ever talk about business. Now with the internet, we can do it digitally. Now there's a way to do this without having to travel around and network like crazy. So digital warming, this is the second step, right? We're going to talk about digital warming, okay? I'm actually going to switch colors again here because this green one's not doing so good. Digital warming. Okay, so we want warm customers, we want warm prospects, and I'm going to also talk to you guys about referrals and creating referrals. If you create warm prospects and they give you referrals, a lot of times those are warm leads, which are really good sales leads because they're warm. They're not cold leads that you're just hitting on right away. So this is the second strategy, the 5 strategies, and these are all in sequential order. So start your Dream 100 list, go to digital warming. Right now we're going to do digital warming, and so this is what this entails. And I know some of you, maybe already do this and you know how great this is, and then some of you maybe you haven't experimented with it yet. So I'll give you some help with that and some strategies to do digital warming. But basically, you don't want to overcomplicate this when you start working these strategies. But this is what you're going to do. This is exactly what you're going to do to warm up that Dream 100 list. You're going to go ahead and start a Facebook account. Obviously, those of you that are on here have Facebook, so that's good. You're already there. Start a Facebook account and then make a business page, right? And some of you already have done this, which is great. If you haven't, I highly, highly recommend it, and it's part of these steps. If you do this, you're going to get more business. So start a Facebook business page, okay? The important thing about this, too, as we roll through this, because there's going to be some other things you're going to set up here, make sure you have pictures of your machine. Make sure you have pictures of your shop. Take some pictures of some of your samples, like some of your awesome embroidery samples. You right by the machine, holding your samples and smiling, right? Get a collection of these things going. And then sit down and write a paragraph about you in your local embroidery business. What's the advantage, right? I offer custom embroidery solutions for companies that need branding within their walls, right? Or need better branding within their company, or need branding for their custom merchandise to create higher profit margins for your store, right? Because custom stuff always has higher profit margins, okay? And that's an advantage you can tell your business customers about too when they buy from you, right? I offer personalized service where I'm actually going to be able to talk to you. I'm a local person. I can show you the samples. I can show you the digitizing of what you want, so there's a huge advantage to working with local. Right? And a lot of you know that too, being a local business person and working with other local organizations and businesses. You're not in India taking phone calls and just processing orders and then stuff comes out bad quality or the wrong way. So this is really important, right? So you want your Facebook business page, set that up, use the photos, put the photos in, use that paragraph description that you typed up for this to put in your about section in your description, okay? The next thing, you're going to set up a Twitter account. Set up a Twitter account. Okay, don't overcomplicate this. You don't have to overcomplicate these things. You don't have to like really go in and tweak everything or like really spend a lot of, like hours and hours on it, because you can. But that's not the point. You're just setting up your page. You're putting the pictures up. You're putting your about stuff in there. Put your phone number in. If you advertise your address as a local embroidery business, you want that too. I know some people don't. But basically, Facebook business page, put the information in. You're going to do the same thing with Twitter. You're going to set up a Twitter account, and then you're going to put your information in there. Pictures of the business, and then your description in the Twitter account. Okay? So that basically you're creating a presence now. So you are a business that's there on social media with Twitter, with Facebook. Then you're actually going to set up a YouTube account. Okay? We're going to set up a YouTube account. And I know some of you have already done this, and it probably, you already understand kind of the benefits of some of this stuff. If you don't have these things, and you're setting them up and you run into obstacles or it's difficult, go to Google and type in how to, and then whatever it is you're trying to overcome, like how to insert my picture into YouTube profile picture, how to upload a YouTube video. And you're actually gonna find out that the answers come up like right away normally. Like usually you can see a video of it or a picture with a step-by-step tutorial. You really need to work through these things because it's going to pay you dividends as you go through this strategy of digital warming with your Dream 100 list or your prospect list. So Facebook business page, Twitter account, YouTube account, and then of course claim your business on Google. Okay, so go onto Google and you're going to claim your business. It's actually a pretty quick process. It takes less than 15-20 minutes to do. And sometimes Google will have you verify some other things, like they might have you call in and put a code in. They may send you a postcard with a code on it, and then you're going to put that in. But you're going to verify your Google listing. Okay, so you want your Google listing, right? Okay, so here's what you do. You set these things up. You're going to set up your Google verified listing, your YouTube account. On the YouTube account, all you again, not overcomplicating this, you're just going to put in your information, a picture of like you with the machine holding your samples, and then you're going to shoot a video, just maybe like a 3-4 minute video, not a big deal. For those of you that don't feel comfortable doing a lot of video, or you don't want to upload YouTube videos, that's fine too. Maybe you have somebody else that can kind of help you out with it, and they can get in front of the camera and basically say, hey, our business is Stitches in Cleveland or something, or whatever. And what we do is we help local clients with custom embroidery solutions so that you have a better branding experience for your customers. And they're holding up the samples. They have your best embroidery samples. They're by the machine or the machine's in the background. And you can reach us at area code, phone number, email address for any questions at all. Put that in the beginning and at the end. You just need like a 2 to 3 minute introductory video about you and your business, okay? You're not gonna, you don't have to post videos every day. You don't have to do all that. You're just making a presence. It's the same thing with Twitter. You're just setting up a profile with a picture, the description, and then with a Facebook business page, same thing. Here's the next step. Once you set up those accounts, you're gonna go ahead and go back to the Dream 100 list, okay, of these people. And this is hard work, but it will get you the results. And as you go through it, you'll see that some of this stuff, you can do it in less than a week or less than 10 days in some cases, and it's totally worth it. So you're going to go to Dream 100 list, go back to that list. So you're going to go to your Facebook, right? You set up your business page, so you have a presence there. And we're going to go to that Dream 100 list. You're going to search each person and each business on your Dream 100 list on Facebook. You're going to look for them. So search for them on Facebook. Okay? So you're going to search for them on Facebook, and basically for each of the businesses or organizations on Facebook, you're going to go ahead and like their page and then give them a 5-star review, and then type a comment in that 5-star review that has to do with their business, right? Like, hey, it's so great that there's a tire shop here in town that has, whatever extra service I saw on your website. You don't have to do business with a business to give them a 5-star review if you think they're great and you want to do business with them. It puts you on their radar and they go, oh, who's this person, right? They're going to see it because you get a notification about this stuff if you have a business Facebook page. So you're going to search them on Facebook, give them a 5-star review, and then type something because you need to put some sort of comment in there. Okay, and then they're gonna see in turn what's gonna happen is they're actually gonna see your Facebook business page, and they're gonna say, oh, it looks like Karen has an embroidery business here in town. She's a local business person too. That's cool. That's awesome that she reviewed me. And what you'll actually see is that they in turn sometimes give you 5-star reviews on your site too. So it's this nice kind of reciprocity that goes on. And it's a great way to start warming up the relationship. Again, you're warming it up. You're just kind of getting to know them. It's like, again, you're in the networking room. If you go to a networking event, you're shaking hands, making eye contact, and getting to know people. But you're doing it on Facebook. So you can do it a lot faster and at scale with this Dream 100 list that you came up with. Okay? So we're going to do the Facebook. We're going to search them out. For your power base, for friends and family, or for people that you're already connected with on Facebook, you just want to have a standard message that you're going to send them. You're just going to go ahead and say, hey, I started my own embroidery business, or I'm running my own embroidery business. Do you know of anybody, or do you need any sort of embroidered goods? Do you need embellishments? Do you have any parties or events coming up? Do you have any parties, events, maybe a wedding or something coming up? I would love to do some custom embroidery for those parties or events. And you're just going to type up like a standard, like a paragraph kind of explaining to them what you do and what you might be able to offer them, and just say, hey, do you need any of this, or do you know anybody that does? And you can actually just go in and send them a message in Messenger, and just hit your friends and family up that way. You'll get orders really fast off of that because your power base cares about you. Your friends and family care about you. They want to see you to be successful, and they probably, they think it's great, like that you're a business owner now. It's really cool. So with that being said, that's actually easy. That's low-hanging fruit. Just message them, search these other businesses. Same thing with the organizations. If they're an organization like a Girl Scout troop or Boy Scouts, or a nonprofit like an animal shelter or something like that, go in and like their page, and then maybe post something too on their page and just say, hey, you guys, it's so great that the Humane Society has an organization here in whatever city it might be, down in Texas or something, or in Austin or whatever. You guys do great work. Thank you. Quick message like that, somebody sees it in the organization, and usually it's the decision maker. They usually help to manage that, or they have somebody helping them manage it, and they kind of hear about it sometimes too. It's not uncommon at all. So you're going to warm up your Dream 100 list. That's the Facebook strategy. Okay, you're going to search them, and you're going to do 5-star reviews with a comment. 5-star review with a comment to get on their radar. Sorry about my handwriting, guys. I'm kind of writing at an angle here. With a comment. Then we're going to go ahead and do the Twitter strategy. Okay, so that's Facebook, right? Super quick to warm them up. We're going to get on Twitter. Okay. And you're going to do the same thing. You're going to search your Dream 100 list on Twitter. You're going to search for, we're going to say, each of these businesses. So let's go, you're going to search Twitter. Sorry, I just saw a comment. Hey, Tony. Search Twitter. You're going to find each one of them, and this is what you're going to do. Once you find them on Twitter, you're going to go ahead and follow their page, and then you're going to go ahead and click the heart button or the like button for their top 3 posts that they just posted. Then you're going to go ahead and retweet those posts, okay? And what that does is it puts you on their radar right away. They're going to see that you followed them and then that you retweeted their posts. And on Twitter, that's kind of like shaking hands, right? So that's the equivalent of shaking hands on Twitter. It creates reciprocity, okay? So it's different than the Facebook strategy, but what you're going to do on Twitter is go ahead and find each of your Dream 100 people that are on that prospecting list, find them on Twitter, and then you're going to go ahead and follow them, and then you're going to like each of their top 3, just the top 3. You're going to put a heart on each of those and heart each one of their top 3 posts, and then you're going to go ahead and retweet. It looks like a little button with like arrows in a circle, and that's going to put you on their radar. Again, we're warming them up. It's like you shook their hand on Twitter, basically. So you're going to search Twitter, and then you're going to do a follow. You're going to follow. Again, sorry if you guys can't see this okay. We're going to post this recording, so I'm kind of trying to put it up as I go. Follow them, and then you're going to like, and then retweet top 3 posts that they have up. Okay? So like and then retweet their top 3 posts. Now again, just going back to this real quick, it's important that with these 4 different platforms, when you set these up, there's a picture of you, an about description in the description. And so, because what's going to happen is when you kind of get yourself on the radar with this Dream 100 list, with your Dream 100 client list, they're going to go ahead and check you out. They're actually probably, there's a very good chance they're going to take a look at your page real quick and be like, oh yeah, Tony the Embroiderer, looks like he liked my post and he retweeted them too, and he's following us now. That's cool. Tony's an embroiderer. Now they kind of know who you are. Okay, and it's a really warm, easy way. And by following and retweeting their stuff, you actually help them out too. You actually help spread attention of their organization and what they do. And so this is a great way to start getting on the radar. Like you're trying to get into these big organizations maybe too, like a hospital or like a city government or a local county government or something. Those are awesome embroidery clients to have that have a fleet of employees, a fleet of people that wear branded logo, like a city logo with a name on it. They need embroiderers and they have a budget for it. They actually allocate government money with a budget for that stuff. And so they're not always shopping on price a lot of the time. Sometimes they're going ahead and they're just going to go ahead and it looks like Melanie Coakley is requesting to be in the video. I'll add you in a second, Melanie. I'll add you in a second. I'm just going to cover these last few steps and then I'll bring you in. It's like for sure. Melanie Coakley's on and she's an embroidery professional and teaches business too. So that's really awesome. I'm actually super stoked that she's going to maybe jump on here. But basically you got to warm up your leads so that you can get to them. On the YouTube account, it's just there so that people can find you and there's a video. And the advantage of that too is that then you can share that video to people that you're trying to build orders with too if you need to. Your Google listing, you need it there so people know that you're real, okay? Same thing with your website. I'm not going to go into everything about a website, but basically with your website, you need at least a page with your information, who you are, those same kind of graphics. And if you're kind of using the same graphics along these different platforms and then with your website too, it's really good as you're warming prospects up because they can see it in these different places. Like they may see that you gave them the 5-star review on Facebook and then they go ahead and Google you just to see. They might even think like, oh, the embroiderer person gave me a 5-star review and I actually need a bunch of hats for this event that we're having this weekend. Let's look them up real quick. You want to show up, right? Like you want to show up and they want to kind of see some of the same things they saw before so there's some consistency. And so go ahead and make sure that these pages are complete because as you go through this process of warming everybody up with Facebook, with Twitter, it's going to start to bring them in to take a look at who you are. So this is the next thing you're going to do for digital warming because what you're doing is you're getting ready to go out and make personal visits to these local people that you want them to become clients. And I'm going to go through the strategy on that. So you're also, the other thing you have to do too, I almost forgot, is you have to set up an Instagram account. Okay, so set up an Instagram account. And it's the same steps. You're going to go ahead and set up this Instagram account and you're going to put the picture of you with the machine maybe, with some embroidery samples, same kind of thing as Facebook. In fact, I think in some cases Facebook will link to your Instagram account. And then you're going to go out and you're going to find these Dream 100 people and you're going to like their top 3 pictures that they post. You're going to like their top 3 pictures. And then the cool thing about Instagram, and this is where it gets really interesting, is that on your phone you can then direct message them. For those of you that maybe have an Instagram, you might know about this, but you can DM somebody on Instagram. And this is what you're going to say. Okay, and this is what I recommend. You can do this as a post on Facebook for your Dream 100 prospects. You can also just post to their page or send them a message. Some pages actually solicit it, like you'll land on a Facebook page and it says, hey, thanks for coming. go ahead and leave us a message or send us a message on Instant Messenger. And this is what you want to say, okay? Either on a DM on Instagram, on the direct message on Instagram, or when you go ahead and send a message on Facebook, you're going to say, hey, I'm not going to write this down because it's too much, but you're going to send them a message and you're going to say, hey, my name is, let's say, Melanie, and I run a local embroidery shop, and I'm going to stop by. I have a free gift for the owner, the decision maker. I have to make a delivery. I'll be in the area. Is there a good time that I could stop in just to shake hands with you real quick? And you're going to tell them honestly what you're doing. I'm actually I'm on a goal, on a mission right now. I have a goal of going and meeting 100 people in the local community. You're on my list, and I have a special gift for you, and I just want to get to know you. I'm going to be by, sometime this week. Is there like a good time, like when I stop by, just to go ahead and shake hands with the owner? I just have a free gift I'm going to hand out, and then I'm out, right? So that's the message you're going to send to organizations, businesses, all that stuff after you do the warming, right? Like you like their page, give them a review, retweet their posts and follow them on Twitter. And then you're going to go ahead and DM them on Instagram if they have an Instagram. And it's not uncommon for businesses to have a lot of this stuff. And so it makes it really easy for you to start warming them up directly this way. Okay, so think about this message. Go ahead and write it out as like a paragraph. It's exactly what you're going to say to each of these people so that you can use that same message over and over again for these your Dream 100 list, your Dream 100 prospect list. So go ahead and DM them on Instagram after you've liked their top 3 photos first, right? And then go ahead and send them a message on Facebook maybe as well after you've done the 5-star review and typed a comment, okay? So first you're going to warm them up, then you're going to send a message, right? And so that's just part of the process. That's just one step as you get kind of closer to really actually shaking hands with people and then actually kind of asking them some questions and then laying out an order and getting an order from them in sales. So let's talk about that. So now the next step, you've got your Dream 100 list, you've warmed up your clients, you've done a digital warming, okay, so we're kind of done with the digital stuff for now. Those are just really basic things that you can do on the digital warming side of things that are going to help you with new client acquisition right away. And you don't have to be a tech savvy person to do that stuff. You can do that, in less than a day. I mean, really, with 100 dream clients. Like if you're like, these are the people I really want to work with in the local community here, organizations, retail shops, that kind of thing, okay? Service-oriented businesses, remember those people usually need stuff like as soon as you talk to them. So the next step, we're talking about the third step right now, is you're going to go ahead and get ready to make personal visits. So you're going to take time to go out and you're going to visit your Dream 100 list. Now, this can be a process that could take days. It might not take days. It depends on how many people you can see in a day. You want to think to yourself, if I go out and drive around the community and I have this Dream 100 list, I've looked them up on the internet, I've seen their social media profiles, and I'm going to go out and see these people. So you already kind of have an idea of who they are and what they're about if you've been looking at these platforms that they're on. And you say, okay, when I go out to see them, you need to have an in. And if you sent messages to all of them, you said, I'm going to stop by with a free gift. So you kind of want to think it out, like how can you go from place to place without spending too much time driving too far and then driving back to another place. You want to map it out a little bit and just kind of know where you're going as you're driving through your community to make these visits, okay? And so when you go to make these visits, make sure you have a briefcase or your laptop bag. You've got your estimation forms, and then you have a questionnaire inside of it. And you're going to set up a questionnaire that has about 5 questions on it. And you're going to ask some pre-qualifying questions. Because the goal is that you get inside to talk to people so that way you can say, hey, I have this free gift for you. And I'll tell you about the free gift. It's actually kind of fun. And it's a great way to build reciprocity. And they're going to remember you, and it costs you almost nothing. It's such low cost. But basically you come in to see them and say, hey, I got this free gift for you, and I just have a few questions. I have to visit 100 people, and you tell them, I have a list of 100 people that I'm shaking hands with and visiting. I really wanted to get to know you. Maybe you even saw that I liked your page on Facebook or whatever, and if they did, that's going to make it even better. Hey, I'll just ask you like 5 quick questions, and you're going to sit down with the questionnaire. And now you're further into the selling cycle with your potential Dream 100 client, okay? So basically, you're going to write up the questionnaire. So you need pre-qualifying questions that work into a selling cycle. So the first few questions need to be about them. All open-ended questions, okay? Your questionnaire that you're going to meet people with needs to be all open-ended questions. So not yes or no questions, okay? You got to pre-qualify. In sales, you always pre-qualify people with open-ended questions. You want them to give you information that you can expound upon. Basically, their answer to the question needs to be an answer where you can say, tell me more about that. Tell me more about that, and ask for more information so that they can give it to you. So it would be a question like, tell me more about your branding strategies. Tell me more about what you're doing to brand yourself. So those are really good open-ended questions. Is like, what are you doing about your branding? Right? So what are you in your company doing to brand your employees, to brand everybody else? Another question for the retail, that's great for service people, right? That's a great question to put right at the top of your questionnaire. What do you do for branding in your company? Do you guys wear, your employees wear uniforms? Do you guys wear hats? What do you do for that? The next thing, open-ended question that's really good is going to be like, what kind of custom merchandise do you sell? If they're a retailer that sells like specialty stuff like a gift shop, it's really good to ask, what kind of custom merch do you sell? Because here's the thing. If they have to order custom merchandise from a vendor somewhere, or there's stuff that they're selling that people can kind of get in other places, you could have a conversation with them about custom merchandise that really fits their niche need. And business owners love to talk about this. If you're like, what's a custom thing that you could sell to your customers that they would love? What's something you could sell to your customers that they would be like, oh, that's a really cool saying that you put across that shirt, or up in the breast of that shirt, or on that hat. That's a really cool saying on that hat. I'm going to buy 5 of those or something. And so you're asking the open-ended question with the customer, or your potential customer, your Dream 100 possible client, because it's going to build your order out. Okay, so you got to pre-qualify with open-ended questions. You're looking for about 5 questions, and you're going to start to kind of like funnel it down into an estimation. Okay, so what kind of branding do you do? Custom merchandise. An easy question at the very top of your list too is like, tell me about your business. Tell me more about what you do. Right? Okay, so you want to make sure that your questionnaire is only 1 sheet of paper. You don't want it to go crazy because, again, you told the client when you came in, hey, I only really need a little bit of your time. And what you're going to find out is that these pre-qualifying questions, as long as they're open-ended, you're talking about their business, and you're still rolling through them and not getting too deep into things, your pre-qualifying process is still going to be like maybe a 5-minute thing or a 10-minute thing, And so what you're going to ask them, and this is the word track that you use once you go through the pre-qualifying questionnaire. Thank you so much for your time. It's great to get to know about your business more. I'd love to help you more with it as a custom embroiderer with the solutions that I offer. Let me go ahead and just put an estimation together for you as to what I think would help you, just based on what you told me. And you're not asking if it's okay if you can do that. You're just saying, hey, let me go ahead and do this for you. And then you take out the estimation form and you start to put in things that you think would be great for their business. Custom embroidered hats with a logo or a saying on it that says blank after your conversation with them. Custom embroidered aprons that have your logo right on the front of it for your service technicians. Custom embroidered aprons for your maids that have like the logo on it. Custom embroidered merchandise for your shop. I can actually embroider shoes, and I have a custom thing where I'm going to put a little monogram on the side of a high top shoe for you. I think that would be great for your gift shop. You're making recommendations after doing the questionnaire, because what's going to happen is you show them the estimation form and the recommendations, and you say, how many of each of these would you think you would like to get? And you're just asking the customer, how many of each of these would you like to get? And they will tell you what they're interested in and how many they would like to get on that estimation form. Okay, it's a very soft way of making a recommendation based on what you actually found out about them, and then putting the estimation form in front of them so they can tell you what they think they want. And you can look at it and you could say, okay, well, you do get quantity discounts at boom, 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 so maybe you want these quantities to be here, here, and here, and then try to improve the quantities if you do that, if you have quantity discounts, because they've given you the opportunity by showing you how many of what they're interested in, okay, on the estimation form. So this is really important. So this is to get to this position when you're making those calls, okay? So I'll back up a little bit, right? The thing you want to remember is the questionnaire, 5 questions, open-ended questions about them and what they do in their shop, so you can make custom embroidery recommendations for them. Let's back up a little bit though, because you're going to come into their business, into their organization. You might be walking into a school, you might be walking into a hospital and approaching a gatekeeper, or if you're lucky, you run right into the owner of that place or something like that, and you're going to need to get with them right away. And so before you make your rounds in the morning, I want you to, the night before, go ahead and call the bakery at your local grocery store, call Krispy Kreme Donuts, or call Daylight Donuts, something like that. You're going to call the donut shop and say, hey, what kind of deal can you give me for half a dozen donuts, or if you want to, you can do a dozen, if I order 100 of them from you over the next 5 days. You'll be very surprised at the kind of deals you get on donuts, and you can get like a dozen donuts from Krispy Kreme for $1 sometimes. And this is a great way to build reciprocity, is to come into your Dream 100 clients business or organization. You have a thing of donuts, half a dozen or a dozen. Make sure the place you call can package them in advance for you, because you don't want to have to go in and like do all of that. But you go in, so in the morning before you make your rounds, you got to go pick up the donuts, box of donuts. You're going to have your business cards, so make sure you have business cards. That's really important, because you're going to go in with like 5 business cards. Always leave more than 1 business card. Don't just leave 1 business card. You always leave more, because people will hand your card out to other people that need embroidery. So always go in with more business cards than just 1. With the donuts, you've got your briefcase with your questionnaire in it, and you need either like a backpack or like a bag or something that has your samples in it. When you're doing these rounds, you need to bring your best samples with you, okay? And preferably you have a sample to give them that has your phone number for your business as an embroiderer, and your email address, and then something that maybe says your logo here on it. So like a mesh bag, tea towel, something very low cost, but it represents what you do, and you can give it to them with the business cards and then the donuts, right? So you have a package for them basically as you're going to see them, because you want to make a big impact on these people. So they know you really care. Like, you're looking to get some more clients here, and you're looking to get orders. And as soon as you nail down a really good order, like you get one of these bigger organizations or companies to get a big order with you, it's going to pay for all these efforts. It's going to make it worthwhile for all of these efforts. So as you go through the list, you're probably going to roll up a few of those, really. So you want to go pick up your donuts. You've got your bag with your samples in it. After you do the questionnaire, okay, just before you go to the estimation process, all right, there's something in between there too. You're going to walk into the business, you got your donuts in the package, and you say, hey, I have a delivery for the person that's in charge of the marketing, or the person that is in charge of the branding here. I sent a message before, and I just have to drop off this package, and I'm out of here. I've got like 100 people to see. Can I talk to them? And usually the gatekeeper, approached in this manner, sees that you have these donuts, you have a bag in like, you know, your briefcase, your laptop, and they're going to point you in their direction. A lot of times. Sometimes if they're a busy person, it doesn't happen right away. But a lot of times they're going to be like, oh yeah, his office is right over there. And you can just go right over to their office and say, and this is where it's hard in sales, is where you're going to introduce yourself to somebody and say, hey, my name's Melanie, my name's Jerry, and I messaged you before. I just stopping by. I'm visiting 100 people in town. So I have a free gift for you, and just wanted to talk to you about your branding really quick. I do custom embroidery here in town. I have a local business. I'm a business owner. Is it all right if I just ask you a few questions? It's like 2 minutes. All I need is 2 minutes of your time, because that's all it really takes to find out how interested they are, okay? And here's the thing. You leave the donuts with the business cards, and then maybe you do leave them that sample that has your name, your phone number, and your logo on it. And this seems like kind of a big package, but your total cost in the package should be definitely less than $10. Like it should be even less than that in some cases. And here's the thing you want to think about. This is a very direct response way of marketing to people and asking them for a sale. It's way cheaper than just spending like $1,000 on coupon ads or spending hundreds of dollars on ads. this is a much better spend with your money, is actually serving up something to people, your top 100 list that are very good potential clients that you've researched already. Okay, you're gonna you say, I have this package for you, where should I set it down, what's a good place? It's really nice to me. You shake their hand, make eye contact, and then make sure you're business casual too for this. Make sure you put on some business casual clothes, your hygiene's good, your grooming's good, you're on point because you're meeting new people. And you're gonna say, hey, so I just have a few questions for you. Let me just go through them real quick. And you want to sit down with them. If they're standing up and you've shaken hands, and you're like, hey, I just want to go through, just a few questions. It takes 2 minutes. And they go, okay, sure. And they're standing. You say, hey, let me sit down because I'm just going to write it down real quick and sit down with them. They're going to sit down. And then you can go ahead and start filling out your 4 to 5 question questionnaire, your pre-qualifying questionnaire, right? Once you get through the pre-qualifying questionnaire, what you want to do is go ahead and show them your samples, because now it's showtime. And you're going to take your bag out and say, hey, thanks for taking time to show me this stuff, or to talk to me about this stuff about you and your business and what you guys are doing. I'm just going to show you some cool embroidery that I do real quick, if that's all right. And they're going to tell you whether it's okay or whether it's not okay, if they're on a time crunch or they have the time or not. And you'll be able to show them your best embroidery. You want to take out your best samples for them because you're there with them. This is the time where you can actually do a presentation. And you can show them puffy foam. You can show them applique. You can show them, whatever, like even freestanding lace if you want to do that as a custom thing. Something, you want to have something in your range of samples that's impressive. And you got in front of this person, so now it's time to impress them and show them what you can do for them. Maybe if you have hats, if you have polos, monogram things, you get to do your presentation at this point, okay? Once you show them your embroidery samples, then you're gonna go ahead and fill out that estimation form and just lay out what you'd say, hey, I'm just, they're gonna be impressed with your embroidery. They're gonna say, wow, that's really cool. I could totally see like my logo on some of that stuff, or us selling something like that with custom made embroidery on it. Great, and so make sure your presentation, when you show off all of that stuff, you got to think about time while you're doing this. Make sure your presentation is like a 2 to 3 minute thing. You can show them several impressive things that really makes an impact every time you show it to them. Describe it, talk about the process, and make sure you're impressing them. Then go ahead and get the estimation form out. List what you would recommend for them, and honestly list all of the things that you think would be awesome for them. List all of the embroidery things, all the custom embroidery things that you think would work out great for them as you're building this estimation form. And then that's when you turn around and you say, okay, with that being said, how many of these do you think that you would use, or how many do you think that you would actually go ahead and bring into your shop, maybe for custom embroidery inventory that you could sell? And they're going to tell you, and a lot of times, because you did the presentation, because you warmed them up digitally, you brought them the donuts, it creates reciprocity. It creates this thing where you did something for them, and they feel like, hey, I'm going to give this person some time because they brought me donuts. And they took the time to come here. You got to do your presentation, and they're impressed. And now you're making these recommendations. You ask them questions, open-ended questions about their business. Awesome. So basically, once you've done that stuff and you put the estimation form in front of them and you're asking, so what do you think would work good for you? They're going to put numbers down, right? Or they might say, oh, well, I got to think about it. I'm not sure. Where that happens, what you want to do is go ahead and say, cool, no problem at all. It's great to meet you. I'm just going to go ahead and shoot you an email later. And you're going to get their name, their email address, and their phone number. Make a spreadsheet. Have a spreadsheet for this. This is your follow-up sheet as you're making your rounds, because you're going to run into people that aren't going to give you an order right away, but they're super interested, and they just have to figure some things out or think about it, and you're going to put their name, their phone number, and their email address down on this spreadsheet as you make your rounds. Say, hey, no problem. Like I said, I just want to have a quick meeting, show you what I'm all about. I'd love to help you. I've got 100 other people that I'm trying to meet, or 70 or whatever, because you're doing your Dream 100 list right now. Okay, so either you put that estimation form in front of them, they're going to tell you how many they want, maybe adjust those quantities and say, hey, if you get more of this, I give you this discount or something. You might be able to improve the order, or whatever the case may be. If they say, hey, great, this looks good to me. When will I have these, or what do we do? You're at the point where it's time to close the sale. You're at the point where you say, great, well, go ahead and swipe your card through this Square reader, and you should have a Square device or something that's like an off-site credit card reader. If you want to go ahead and write me a check, I'll write you an invoice. Have a carbon copy invoice, and then go ahead and make sure you write up the order and then sign it so they have a copy of it and take the money. Now you have an order that you're going to go and produce for them, right? Okay. If not, you're going to put them on your follow-up sheet, and now you have somebody you can call. You can send them an email with information on the estimation you gave them, and that's basically what you're going to tell them is, hey, well, what I'll do is go ahead and follow up with you with this estimation, with this, what I recommend, with my recommendations is what I like to say. Let me go ahead and follow up with you with my recommendations. I'm going to email these to you just to give you more information about what I do. And people love that. They're just like, great, thanks. I would love more information. And they're going to give you their business card, or you're just going to fill that into your sheet. The thing you want to do before you leave, whether they buy an order from you, whether they don't buy an order from you, is you're going to ask them, do you know anybody else that's interested in custom embroidery solutions, or somebody else that, any other organization? Do you know anybody that does parties or weddings or events, things like that you think might be able to use my services, friends and family or an organization? And if so, what's their name? And then can you write down their phone number and their email address for me? Because I'm just going to send them some information. No big deal. When people are like, well, I can't really think about it, be like, well, if you could think about it, who would it be? Because this happens a lot with referrals. People are going to tell you, I can't really think about, I can't think of anybody now. Just ask this question a second time in a different way. If you could think of somebody, who would it be? And usually multiple names come out, and they're like, oh, well, Susie's having a wedding and she needs custom embroidery for all of her guests. Custom embroidered napkins, like cloth napkins or something. Or stuff like that comes out because you asked them to think about it. Sometimes people get asked that question like, I can't really think of anybody. And you say, well, if you could, who would it be? They go, oh, okay, well, let me think, really. And then all of a sudden the referral comes out. And you want to write down the name, the phone number, the email address of that referral. Get their full name and the phone number with the area code and the exact spelling of the email address. Make sure you record it properly, because now you just got a referral off of that sales call, okay? So that's how you're going to build a referral. Whether they buy something from you or they don't buy something from you, they're going to see you're a local business person. You brought them the donuts. You brought them a sample. Maybe you did your presentation and showed it to them. You wrote up an estimation. All of this should really be about like a 5 to 10 minute process. Some of your prospects might really be into it though, and they might love talking to you. And they might write a really big order, and it might be half an hour to an hour, but you walk out with a huge order. You'll be very surprised at the results. You're going to be very surprised at the kind of positive results you get. And at the very least, if they're willing to talk to you, you usually get referrals off of this. So that's a key thing, is always ask for referrals, okay? No matter whether they get an order from you or they don't get an order from you, ask for referrals. And I will tell you, in my time in sales, since I've been in sales, you're just something about sales, is that you're going to face rejection. People are going to shut you down. They're going to tell you to get lost. Even with all of this like digital warming and warming people up, preparing people for a visit, coming in with a gift even, and just saying, hey, I'm just here to help you. Like, I want to help you with your branding strategies. You're all in a mode of service, positive, transparent. Hey, I'm meeting all these people and you're one of them and I'd love to talk to you. Some people are still going to shut you down. And some people are still going to say, yeah, we don't need any embroidery. Get out of here. Great. Well, you just saved some time because you can move on to the next client, or you can move on to the next prospect. My opinion on this, feel very strongly about this, is that you should still leave the gift with your contact information. Still do it, because you'll be very surprised at how people still reconnect with you, and they'll still contact you again. So even if the gatekeeper or like the secretary or whoever is just like, he's not taking any meetings right now, or she's not taking any meetings right now, you got to get out of here. Be like, great, well, I still have this delivery. I'm just going to leave this right here for them. Thank you. And you're not asking if you can. You're just saying that you will, and you set it down. If they want it, great. If they don't, they'll get rid of it. But most of the time, they'll keep it, and most of the time, they're going to have your business card, and you still touched them again. You still touched your Dream 100 list or this client. And it might take another visit. It might take a phone call afterwards, and I highly recommend it. Afterwards, call them and say, hey, did you get my package? Did you get my gift? To see if they got it, especially if you're trying to create a client out of an organization that has deep layers. So basically, as you're trying to, just to pick up right where I left off, if you're trying to get clients on your Dream 100 list that are these kind of bigger organizations like hospitals, schools, like a university or something where they have multiple buildings actually, which universities can be great clients because actually a university has different colleges with different departments. So it's not like a college is just your client. They have you could turn a college into multiple clients with this strategy. You'll actually see when you search like the College of Business or the College of Economics or the College of Science, like biology or math or that sort of thing, with that university on it, you'll be able to do the same digital warming strategy that I talked about before. And actually what's great about college clients is that those department heads, there's not as many gatekeepers there if you go to those buildings that house those departments on a university campus. So you can create a whole group of clients out of a university actually by doing this strategy. So back to what I was saying before, basically you might encounter some resistance, you might encounter people saying, you know, we're not interested, but what you'll find is that because you warmed them up, because you sent some messages, and maybe even if you feel like it, you want maybe send them an email as well just to notify them. You showed up with these donuts, you have your business cards, and you maybe even have a free sample for them. For those of you that are more sophisticated with digitizing, or maybe you have a really good digitizer that does digitizing super cheap, you have a huge opportunity. Some of you even have machines now that do auto digitizing on the machine. If that's the case, actually putting their logo on something or putting something on the sample you're going to give them that's custom is a big marketing tool. It really shows that you're interested in them and you're interested in helping them with embroidery. So that's another thing you can leave with your package. Get the referral, do the estimation, maybe even get the order. And always ask for the order, even if on the first call they're open to it and they think it's great and they love what you do. They love your presentation of samples. Go ahead and take the order. There's no reason not to, right? And then follow up afterwards. Keep a detailed list of who you talk to, what they're interested in. Have that spreadsheet with your referral list on it and fill that out. Okay.